everybody. It's Neil Malvone, founder of the Dream Bowl. I'm welcoming you to our new podcast series where we're going to hear from some of the amazing players that will be participating in this year's game. Please join Chuck Stuller, our Director of Player Personnel, and his assistant Trey King as they talk to our players and get a little bit more information about what brought them to Dream Bowl 12. Throughout the rest of the year, we'll be interviewing other players, current, former, and future Dream Bowl athletes. So come join us on Surge Sports and be part of the Dream Bowl experience.
Once again, my name is Chuck Stuller. I'm the Executive Director of Player Personnel for the Dream Bowl. Trey also works with me as well. He's my right-hand man. He also works for the NCAA. He does kind of like my grind work on the road, checking out prospects, sending me reports and stuff like that. Once again, we have Juan with us from UMass, one of our many FBS prospects this year that's coming. And I'm going to turn it over to Trey, and we're just going to get to know you a little bit better, Juan. Sound good?
It sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, what's up? What's going on, Juan?
What's up, Trey?
It's good to finally meet you and kind of put a name to a face. And we're excited that you're coming down to the Dream Bowl here in a couple of days. Just want to kick this off by congratulating you on a great season at UMass over these past couple of years. Obviously, you started off JUCO, right?
Yes, sir.
So how was that transition going from JUCO to end up at an FBS program?
Oh man, it was surreal. Part of the reason I ended up going JUCO is because I wanted to go to a D1 school, especially an FBS school. So, going to two different junior colleges before getting to UMass and finally getting the opportunity to really prove myself at that next level. It kind of meant everything, it meant a lot to me, to my family. And, I was really fortunate to get the opportunity to do that and kind of showcase my ability to play at that level. So it was definitely a blessing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously doing a little research on you also, named second team to the all-independent team for both defense and special teams. What from your success from your junior to your senior year, there was a jump in statistics there that we saw. What made that jump possible? Was it more comfortable in the defense, or was it just getting to know the game better? Or what made you successful between your junior and senior year?
Oh man, I think there were a lot of aspects that kind of went into it. Obviously getting to know the defense a little better definitely helped me out. I transitioned mainly from a safety role my junior year to a mainly corner role my senior year. I was in the nickel a little bit both years, but I think mainly, the ability to have like my coaches to have more trust in me, to be able to run their defense. Obviously the position change definitely helped. But I think overall getting more comfortable with, myself as a player in the defense, being able to kind of step up and take a bigger role in the team itself. I think, obviously transitioning from a junior college, your first year is a little difficult. I think for me, it probably would have benefited me a little more if I redshirted initially. But, it was a part of me needed to help the team out. And, I was called to do that. So, I was more than happy to fill in for some of the guys there. And, obviously I ended up taking a step my following season with my senior year. And, I was very blessed to have it come out the way it did. So for me, I think a big part of it was getting comfortable with the defense.
Awesome. And then so as kind of you look to expand on your playing career and move on to play professionally, where do you see you best fit into a scheme of defense? Is that in that nickel? Is that at that free safety position? Or is that outside at corner? Where do you think you can kind of showcase your abilities the best?
I think at a nickel spot is really where I'm going to probably be more like probably like a hybrid role at nickel. I like playing cornerback a lot. But obviously I know my skill set, and I think that I'd transition better into the next level at nickel, somewhere I can be a little closer to the box, guard some of the slot receivers. I got really comfortable playing the scooch technique, which was one of my strong suits there in college. And, playing in the slot was definitely one of my more favorite things to do in college. I like to get physical, get in there. And I mean, being 190, it kind of helps out, but obviously I want to get a little heavier and, try to transition into more of like a hybrid kind of coverage safety role into the next level.
Awesome. You hit on some of your strengths too, being physicality, which is what I saw when I took a look at your tape, and
Mhm.
obviously footwork out there on the island out there. What other skill sets do you bring to the table?
I think being very technically sound. I was fortunate enough to have Coach Juice Walker there with us and really develop my craft. Over summer, we kind of hit the field, one day after another. We made sure that was an emphasis that when we were there for summer training, and then shortly got into fall camp. Every single day, after our summer workouts, we made sure we went in there and like we refined our footwork. And I think he was a big help to me and being able to develop my technique as a corner. It definitely helped out. And before that, I think even having like coaches like Coach Doc when I was in high school, he was a corners coach for he played in the Panthers and he was my corners coach in high school. And really since then, I started really hammering away at my technique, and I think really refining it. My senior year going into college helped me out a ton. Helped me kind of have the year that I did. So I think really consistently working on my technique was like the biggest, improvement.
Awesome, awesome. Chuck, will throw it
Mhm.
over to you.
Sure. Now, Juan, you mentioned a couple of times like your like how things went for you in high school. Can you give us like a quick rundown? And I think Trey mentioned like I think you went the JUCO route as well.
Mhm.
Give us like a quick rundown of like your transition like from high school like to your recruiting process, and then because you're a California guy, right?
Mhm. Yes,
You're
sir.
all the way on this part of the country. Now you're all the way on the northeast part of the country. So I mean, just give us like a quick rundown like how that went for you and what it's like being and where it's in a different climate where it's cold and it's not the sunshine and stuff like that. Just give us like a quick rundown like how that went for you.
So the recruiting process was definitely a little rocky for me, especially at a high school. I went to a smaller Catholic high school, out in or out in Palm Desert, California. I'm from Indio, California, and there's not really much exposure out here. So coming out of high school, I did have a good senior year, a good junior year. I put together some good film. I think I had 2 interceptions my senior year. I had somewhere up to like 12 PBUs. So I definitely had a good year statistically. I had my film show for it, but I ended up receiving some interest from schools such as like UC Davis, but unfortunately, when I first got into high school, my freshman year, my grades weren't really up to par, and that really had everything to do with me. So that kind of affected me, and that's kind of a little bit of a reason why I had to go junior college. And then obviously after my first year of junior college, being close to home in College of the Desert, which is located literally 15 minutes from where I'm at right now, the exposure wasn't the best either. I definitely went there and I had, one of my best years, racking up 57 tackles. I was pretty much everywhere playing in the safety position. And then after that, I transitioned and went over to Saddleback College because I knew it was one of the better junior colleges out in California. So for me, I did that move to get more exposure, and it definitely worked out for me. I went there. I was one of our starting cornerbacks, and I ended up getting a first team all academic there while I was at junior college. And then I was able to transition to UMass all the way across the country in the East Coast. And it was definitely an opportunity that I loved because it was a new change of climate. It was room for me to grow, really meet new people, and just ultimately get to represent not only myself but my family out there. And just it was a great new opportunity for me. So I mean, the recruiting road was definitely rocky, but I was fortunate enough to have a school take a chance on me, and I saw it through all the way, and I was definitely blessed for that.
That's awesome, man. Now it was really cool to hear. And you were really honest about like you had some like a rocky start as far as like education stuff, and then now,
Mhm.
like you said, you're top of the food chain, like your cream of the crop as far as education goes. And I mean, you
Mhm.
did well in school. So, I mean, that's awesome. That's great to hear, because it's not always about football, and it's not always the growth in the field. It's the growth of the person as well. So no,
Mhm.
that's awesome to hear. I'm glad you brought that up. That's really cool. That's
Thank you,
awesome.
sir.
Sure.
So Juan, I want to talk about your Toledo game.
Mhm.
I don't know personally, statistic wise, it was one of your better games.
Mhm.
Just looking at whether that's tackles, PBUs in that game, what caused that success to happen in that game specifically?
Oh man, really, I got the opportunity that game to make my first collegiate start. Kind of going up to that point, we had an injury happen to one of our guys, and I fortunately was called upon to play that game, and really, like, it was surreal to me just being able to be out there, and it was nice because I had my teammates trust me. And I think that game I really just got to prove that I could play at this level, because like you see, I come back the week after that and play Army, and I backed it up 2 games where I statistically did really good. And I think it really showed that I can play at this level, just because anytime I, when I went out there, like, I knew I'm gonna play against another human being. I never like went out and I got nervous or I saw anyone, because if you're able to play this game of football, is because you can play, like, you can do all the preparation in the world. But I know that at the end of the day, it's a mental game. So when you line up across from anybody from you, it's gonna be because you want to be better than them. Like, you have that urge to compete. And for me, I wanted to do nothing but get on that field and just show them that, I could play at the level I can play at. And, I think that game really gave me the chance to go out and do it. I remember calling my dad before, because, I was so nervous and so hyped and everything to play that game. But, I was just glad I got the chance and I got to prove myself out there that I can compete with the best and, you know, be really good out there.
Yeah, you talked about you talked a little bit about kind of just proving your worth too, and I think you definitely did that against Army. Obviously, having picks, I think you had a pick back-to-back weeks, Army and
Mhm.
then Toledo, or
Yeah.
Toledo and then Army. So
Mhm.
props to you on that, and obviously the next man up mentality
Mhm.
is huge in professional sports, not only in football but in basketball, baseball, whatever the case may be. So
Mhm.
congrats to you on that.
Thank you.
Excellent. Um, Now, as I like to do a couple like personal questions, like aside, um, do you have any like pregame rituals that you go through? I know, like, I think
Hmm.
Trey mentioned he saw JJ McCarthy meditate before the game, and like
Yeah.
some players eat weird meals before games. Like, what does Juan Lua have any pregame rituals? Or you just hang out, listen to music? What do you do?
Man, whenever we have a home game, I like to get in the hot tub. I like to relax. And then after that, I like to get into like a dark area, have a towel over my head. Like, I remember like a lot of games, I'll kind of it's weird. I won't really like cry, but I'll start tearing up before a game. I start swaying. Like, I have the music on, headphones in. Like, I start locking in, getting into my zone. And this is especially before we go out there. I always I've definitely puked a few times before games, but that's always because like the nerves are there. But they usually end up going away. But that's definitely some of my pregame rituals. I like to go into that place, that mindset, like, oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna play this game, and I'm gonna have a great game. Definitely don't take it for granted every time I go out there. Like, every time I go out there, it's just make it your best. I always
No, that's
remember.
awesome, because I mean, if I didn't play at the level that you guys play, but any guy I've talked to, if you don't play this game with emotion, like, then why are you playing? You know what I mean? You can't
Hmm.
look at it as a job and just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna go out there and just play some ball." No, you got it's the feelings got to come from somewhere, and it's cool that you mentioned all that, because, like I said,
Hmm.
Trey, you play collegiately too. You have to play this game with some sort of emotion. You know what I mean? But
Sure.
whether it be on your own or inflicting that emotion on somebody else, taking that emotion out on somebody else on that field.
Yeah.
But no,
Absolutely.
it's cool that you mentioned that. Um, Now, I guess you mentioned your pregame rituals. Like, now, besides preparing for games, lifting weights and nutritional stuff, stretching, hot tubs, cold tubs, what does Juan Lua do to get away? Like, do you have any hobbies and stuff like that you like to do?
Oh man, what I like to do to get away. I really like to if I really need like my time away. I remember during summer when I was out in Amherst, I didn't really end up going home for close to 10 months. So I was out there and I actually ended up I ended up running a business when I was out in Amherst. So I really try to like kind of, explore different avenues. I ran a startup company while I was out there. Like it was kind of like contracting and exterior painting. So I guess like trying to not really like distract myself, but like just kind of like get away from it at times and like really like, be appreciative when I come back to it because, one of the things I kind of realized doing that is that like, yes, it was nice. And I proved to myself that I can like, get myself started and like kind of do something else outside of football. But, every time I did that, I kind of felt like, it was work. One of the things I loved about football was, it was like my getaway, it was like, I felt like for me, it was something that I looked forward to doing. Like when I woke up in the morning, it's like, oh man, I got to go play football. But I don't know. Sometimes when I definitely do need an escape, I like to go out in nature and, really just kind of keep to myself. Like I know me and some of my guys and my teammates, we went out to like a little camping trip, when we were in Amherst for summer. So I don't know, just like to get away, maybe like connect with nature and, just like be present in the moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
And once again, you are a California guy. Now, does that mean you follow like a California NFL team? Did you have like a team, like a favorite team you followed growing up that you still follow?
Oh man, yeah, the 49ers. My parents are huge 49ers fans. My dad, he kind of moved from place to place growing up. So he was in Stockton for a little bit when the 49ers were in their like prime era. So I kind of grew up a 49ers fan and it's pretty sweet now seeing Taylor Hawkins, played against him in high school and now he's, making plays over in the Niners. He actually just recently had his first interception last week. So, it makes it even sweeter when you see people out there on the field. So 49ers have definitely been my team growing up.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit about obviously your team being the 49ers and
Mhm.
kind of want to make that transition to the pro. What is your elevator pitch as to why teams in the NFL, CFL, arena, indoor, whatever it may be, why should they pick you up?
It's the passion and the consistency of my work. I've always been working hard to get, where I want to get to. And it's not something that's going to stop now. Like when you get something out of me, you're going to get someone someone that's passionate, someone that can compete at those levels and is athletic enough to compete at those levels. You know, for me, like I always felt like my game spoke for itself. So going to that level, like yes, it's going to be, uh, a step up. It's not, the NFL is a different monster in itself. But for me, being able to work as hard as I have, is only it only speaks for itself because it's gonna carry on into the NFL and it's gonna give me the like I feel like if I work hard enough at anything, I can accomplish it. So for me, if I'm athletic enough and I'm determined to do it, like in my mind, I know I can achieve it.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Um, yeah, as we're moving towards the end here now, we always kind of ask, like, did you have any questions or comments for Trey and I about the Dream Bowl, anything like that?
Yeah, so I saw the itinerary, just kind of like with the like I guess like practices. Are we also going to have like meetings and what's it going to be like? Learning the scheme and the defense and is that going to be something that we're going to learn like obviously like on the first day, but like are we going to have meetings prior to practices? Before kind of going out there. Um, just kind of questions about like the scheme of the defense.
I think Chuck froze up here, but I can speak a little bit to that until he
Mhm,
hops back in. But obviously, your coach will be assigned, and Chuck, you can kind of talk to that a little bit more.
mhm,
Yeah, no, just like no, you're good. Now, it's kind of like the Senior Bowl. Like we need to keep the offense and defense as kind of as vanilla as possible because you guys are going to
mhm,
be together 4 days, 3 nights. It's not the Super Bowl; it's an All-Star game. We want to
mhm,
keep you guys safe and but put you in the best position that we can. So
mhm.
player safety is like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But when you get there Thursday, I believe you have kind of like a get to know you kind of practice, like kind of like install light stuff. You're still going to do some activities. It's not going to
Mhm,
be anything too crazy. Get to know the coaches. They're going to get to know you when you come back. Of course, you're going to eat and you are going to have team meetings and stuff like that. with your positional coaches and stuff like that. So, and then the following Friday, that's I believe you have a 2-a-day. Like I said, I don't have the schedule in front of me, and unfortunately, I won't be there. Trey will be there for me. It's my right-hand man because he is it anyway. So I did have surgery last month, which I still can't do a lot of things. But yeah, I believe Friday is going to be like as a 2-a-day, lunch, meetings, and I think you have the banquet that Friday night where the jersey presentation ceremony and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be too difficult because, like I said, the offense defense has to be pretty vanilla as far as that goes. And we already sent the rules out to the coaches, and I think you guys are going to get a copy of that too.
Okay.
Yeah. So your coaches will have positional meetings, and obviously they'll be available for you just if you have any questions. But that's usually we let the coaches kind of handle how they want to go about taking care of their team for the weekend. But obviously, like Chuck said, there's no blitzing. You can't really disguise any defenses because, like Chuck said, this is not a game where we really care about a winner or a loser. We just want to see everybody succeed and come out healthy and showcase their abilities as best as possible. So I don't think there'll be
Okay.
Any other questions you got for us?
I mean, outside of that, like with the scheme, not really. Not too many others.
Yeah. Now, as far as like defensive scheme goes, I mean, it can be a 34 or a 43.
Okay.
And you can play nickel as long as there's at least 3 wide receivers on the field, but there has to be a tight end on the field at all times.
Okay.
Because we got to make sure those guys get some time too. So yeah, three wide and 1 tight end, and plus each team also has a fullback on it. So I'm a purist, and I want a fullback on each team. So I prefer.
I believe you.
So yeah, 2 tight ends and a fullback, and I think. And like I said, I didn't mention to you before, you have a teammate that's coming, Jalen Farrell. He's also attending. And this year we made a concentrated effort to try to get more FBS guys to kind of fill that role. We didn't get as many as I wanted. I wanted to get at least like 20. I think we got Trey, 10 to 15 FBS guys this year. So the competition is definitely going to be ratcheted up. And iron sharpens iron. Everybody's on the field at the same time. We're not going to divide you by level like some other games do. You're all on the field at the same time. You're treated the same, and your guys are all going to go out there and stay safe, but you're going to go out there and compete, which is what I want. I mean, it's what we want. Excuse me. So
of course, yeah. No, it's like you're saying, iron sharpens iron. So ready to go out there and compete. I'm excited, man. It's can't wait to put on these pads again. I've been talking to my parents about it. Like, man, it's gonna be.
Are they gonna make the trip or?
I think they're gonna watch it online.
Okay.
Yeah, because flights are expensive right now. So.
And practice will also be online too, so they can watch it there too.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I was gonna say I'm gonna need the link for that.
We'll get all that out. Don't worry about that.
All right, perfect.
So. All right. So, Juan, it was a definite pleasure talking to you and getting to know you a little bit better. I believe you have Trey's contact information. I think you have mine too. And you can also hit me up on Twitter as well. It was a pleasure having you, and you enjoy your Sunday and take it easy. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Juan, appreciate it, man.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's an absolute pleasure. Stay safe.
Yep. Yes, sir. Bye.
See ya.